7 hidden signs someone is secretly in love with you. They think you don't know. Have you ever caught someone staring at you just a little too long? Or noticed a friend who remembers every tiny detail about your life? What if I told you that someone close to you might be madly in love with you right now, but they're too scared to say it? Stay with me because I'm about to reveal 7 psychological signs that someone is secretly obsessed with you. And warning, by the end of this video, you'll never look at your friendships the same way again. Look, I've spent years studying human behavior and romantic psychology, and here's what I've discovered. Most people completely miss the signs when someone is falling for them. We're so focused on obvious flirting that we ignore the subtle, powerful signals that reveal true feelings. Today, I'm going to share the 7 scientifically backed signs that someone is secretly in love with you, hidden behind a friendship. These aren't just random theories. These are psychological patterns I've observed in hundreds of cases. And once you know them, you'll spot them everywhere. But before we dive in, let me ask you this. Have you ever wondered if that one person in your life feels something more? That friend who's always there, who seems to care just a little too much? Well, you're about to find out. Sign number 1, the lingering low OKV. First sign is something we all recognize, but often dismiss. Those glances that last just 1 second too long. But here's what most people don't understand. This isn't about creepy. Staring when someone is secretly in love with you, their brain literally releases oxytocin during eye contact. It's the bonding hormone, and their mind is desperately seeking that emotional connection through your eyes. But here's the key difference. When you catch them looking, they quickly look away, almost embarrassed. Think about it. When was the last time you caught someone looking at you like they were studying a beautiful painting? Not checking you out, but really seeing you? That soft, intense gaze that makes your heart skip a beat? And here's something fascinating. If they were just being friendly or polite, they wouldn't have that reaction when caught. They wouldn't blush or suddenly find their phone incredibly interesting. That embarrassment? That's your first clue that their feelings run deeper than friendship. I remember working with a client who told me, "I keep catching my coworker staring at me during meetings, but when I look back, he pretends to be taking notes." That's not coincidence. That's someone fighting an internal battle between wanting to drink you in and trying to respect boundaries. Sign number 2. They remember gene. This one will blow your mind. When someone is secretly in love with you, they remember details about you that even you forgot. I'm not talking about your birthday or your favorite color. I mean that random comment you made 3 months ago about loving rainy mornings. Or how you mentioned you prefer texting over calling when you're stressed. Psychologically, this is called selective attention. When we're emotionally invested in someone, our brain automatically prioritizes and stores every piece of information about that person. It's not conscious. It's happening on autopilot because you've become the most important person in their mental database. But here's where it gets really interesting. Friends remember important things about you. Someone in love remembers how you take your coffee, what makes you laugh at 2 a.m., the exact tone you use when you're excited about something. They remember the stories behind your scars, both physical and emotional. Let me paint you a picture. Imagine mentioning once that you love a specific song because it reminds you of your grandmother. Months later, they play it during a car ride together. Coincidence? I don't think so. They've been building a mental catalog of everything that matters to you. And here's the test. Do they remember more about you than you remember about them? That imbalance isn't accidental. It's the sign of someone who's been paying attention at a level that goes way beyond friendship. SIGN number 3. Jealousy and DISGS. This one might make you uncomfortable, but it's absolutely crucial to recognize. Disguised jealousy. Now, I'm not talking about toxic, controlling behavior. I'm talking about those subtle shifts in energy when you mention other people getting close to you. Maybe it's a forced laugh when you talk about a date, or they suddenly go quiet when you mention having dinner with someone new, or they start asking way too many questions about that person you've been texting lately. This is what psychologists call reactive jealousy. Even though there's no official romantic relationship, their brain is processing these other people as threats. Their subconscious is screaming, "Wait, that's supposed to be my person." But here's what separates healthy secret love from toxic behavior: how they handle it. Someone who truly cares about you will try to hide their jealousy because they respect your autonomy. They won't be controlling or possessive, but they also can't completely mask their feelings. I had a client tell me, "My best friend used to be so supportive about my dating life, but lately she changes the subject whenever I bring up guys I'm interested in." That shift isn't random. It's someone realizing their feelings are deeper than they thought. And here's the thing about mature, secret love. They'll never try to sabotage your other relationships. Instead, they'll quietly hope those relationships don't work out while simultaneously feeling guilty for hoping that. It's an internal war between wanting you to be happy and wanting to be the source of that happiness. Sign number 4. They're always there, but not obviously. This sign requires some serious emotional investment. I'm talking about that person who's consistently available when you need them. They text you right when you're having a bad day. They call with seemingly random excuses, but they're actually checking on your well-being. It's not stalking or invasive behavior. It's much more subtle than that. From a psychological standpoint, this happens because emotional proximity becomes their lifeline. For someone in love who can't express it, simply being near you, knowing about your day, being part of your daily routine, is how they partially satisfy that emotional hunger. But here's what makes this special: the quality of their presence. They're not there in a needy or desperate way. They're there reliably, consistently, like they've made a conscious decision to be a positive constant in your life. Think about it. Do you have someone who always responds to your texts, no matter how random? Someone who shows up when you need help without you even asking? Someone who remembers you have a big presentation today and texts you good luck? This isn't coincidence. This is someone who's made your well-being a priority in their life. Your happiness has become intertwined with their daily peace of mind. I remember a woman telling me, "I realized that in 3 years, he's never once been unavailable when I called. Not once. Even when he was on vacation or at work, he always found a way to respond." That level of consistent availability isn't friendship, it's devotion. Sign number 5. Body language that says "Evier Whiting Dine." Gauer Jean. Now we're getting into territory that requires some observation skills. When someone is secretly in love with you, their body language tells 2 different stories at the same time. On one hand, they're drawn to you like a magnet. They lean in when you talk. They unconsciously mirror your gestures. Their feet point toward you even in a group setting. Their body is literally saying, "I want to be closer to you." But then there's the restraint. They almost touch your hand and stop. They almost say something important and pull back. There's this constant tension between the impulse to get closer and the need to stay within the safe boundaries of friendship psychologically. This reflects a very specific internal conflict: the desire for physical and emotional intimacy versus the fear of rejection or losing you entirely. Their body is responding to attraction and affection, but their conscious mind is applying the brakes. And here's what's really revealing: this restraint is specific to you. With other people, they're probably completely natural, casual hugs, touching shoulders, being physically expressive. But with you, there's this heightened awareness where every potential touch feels loaded with meaning. Watch for the almost moments. The time they reached for your hand to comfort you but stopped halfway. The hug that lasted just a moment longer than normal. The way they stand just slightly closer to you than they do with other friends. It's like they're constantly walking a tightrope between expressing their feelings and maintaining the friendship. Every gesture is calculated, restrained, meaningful. Sign number 6. Compliments that hit DIFA oriente. By now in life, you've heard every generic compliment in the book. You know the difference between empty flattery and genuine recognition. But when someone is secretly in love with you, their compliments are completely different. They don't tell you that you look nice. They tell you that you light up every room you enter. They don't comment on your outfit. They notice how your way of being affects everyone around you. They see and appreciate things others completely miss. Your way of listening, how you treat people who can't do anything for you, your quiet strength, your ability to find humor in impossible situations. This is due to what psychologists call emotional idealization. When we're in love, we literally see the person differently. Our brain amplifies positive qualities and finds beauty in details others would overlook. But here's what makes these compliments special. They feel true. They don't feel empty or automatic. They feel like someone has been studying you, not in a creepy way, but in the way you study something that fascinates you, something you want to understand completely. The difference between a friend's compliment and a secret admirer's compliment is specificity. They don't just say you're smart. They mention how you solve problems in a way that no one else thinks of. They don't just say you're beautiful. They talk about how your smile changes your entire face, or how your laugh is contagious. These compliments reveal they've been paying attention at a level that goes beyond casual friendship. They've been collecting moments, studying your essence, falling in love with details about you that you probably don't even notice about yourself. SIGN number 7. The almost confession MONCs. This is the most intense sign of all. And if you've experienced this, you know exactly what I'm talking about. Those moments where the air gets thick with unspoken words, where you feel like they're about to say something life-changing, but then they don't. These are the conversations that build to something important and then suddenly change direction. The texts that start with, "I need to tell you something," and then trail off into safer territory. The loaded silences where you both feel something hanging in the air, waiting to be acknowledged. Psychologically, this is the most critical moment of secret love. It's where the desire to open up crashes directly into the fear of losing everything. The line between friendship and confession is razor thin, and they know that once they cross it, there's no going back. I've seen this pattern countless times. People who reach the edge of confession and pull back because the risk feels too enormous. Because once you say those 3 words, everything changes. If the response isn't what they're hoping for, the friendship might never be the same. But here's what I want you to understand. These moments aren't accidents. They're not randomly running out of words with you. There's something real pressing to come out, something that's being held back by sheer willpower and terror. These almost confession moments can last for months or even years. Some people live in this emotional limbo where having your friendship feels safer than risking losing you completely. They'd rather love you in silence than potentially lose you forever. The psychology behind secret LOVing. Now let me explain why people choose to love in silence. After years of studying this behavior, I've discovered that secret love isn't weak love. It's often the strongest kind. It's love that's so powerful it's willing to sacrifice its own expression for the sake of the relationship. People who love in secret often have one thing in common. They value the relationship they have with you more than their need to confess their feelings. They've done the math in their head, and they've decided that having you as a friend is better than potentially losing you as everything. This is especially common in people who've experienced loss or rejection before. They know the pain of losing someone important, so they choose the safety of silence over the risk of abandonment. But here's something beautiful about secret love. It's incredibly selfless. These people are choosing your comfort over their own emotional needs. They're protecting your peace of mind while carrying the weight of unexpressed feelings. Secret love is patient love. It's love that shows up consistently without expecting anything in return. It's love that celebrates your happiness even when they're not the source of it. It's love that puts your well-being above their own desires. What to do if you recognize these Jung. So what do you do if you've recognized these signs in someone in your life? First, take a breath. You don't have to do anything with this information. It's not your responsibility to fix someone else's emotional situation, but you do have choices. If you've realized someone might be in love with you, and you don't feel the same way, the kindest thing you can do is be aware of your behavior. Don't give mixed signals. Don't use their feelings for attention or emotional support while knowing you'll never reciprocate. On the other hand, if you've recognized these signs and realized you might feel something too, then you have a beautiful opportunity. Sometimes secret love is mutual. Two people so focused on protecting the friendship that neither dares to make the first move. If you think there might be something there, you can create safe spaces for honesty. You can have conversations about relationships and feelings in general. You can share your own vulnerabilities and see if they mirror that openness. Remember, the goal isn't to force a confession or put anyone on the spot. The goal is to create an environment where truth feels safer than silence. And here's something I've learned. The best love stories often start with, "They were always there, but I didn't realize it until now." Maybe your person has been right in front of you this whole time, loving you quietly, waiting for you to see what was always there. Conclusion and call to ACTIO. And look, love doesn't always announce itself with grand gestures and movie-perfect moments. Sometimes it arrives whispering, waiting patiently, building solid foundations in silence, before daring to show its full face. If you've made it this far, and something inside you stirred while watching this, if you recognize these signs in someone, in your life, or maybe even in yourself, that's completely normal and beautiful. Love is complex, and the most meaningful connections often develop slowly, carefully, with respect and genuine care. The question isn't just whether someone is secretly in love with you. It's whether you're ready to see those signs and decide what you want to do with them. Because you deserve to be loved authentically, whether that's loudly or quietly, with dramatic declarations or consistent presence, but always with genuineness and respect. So I want to know, have you recognized any of these signs in your life? Is there someone who's been there all along, loving in silence? Drop a comment below and let me know if this video made you think about someone differently. And if this helped you see a relationship in a new light, make sure to hit that like button and subscribe for more insights into human psychology and relationships. Because who knows? Maybe your greatest love story is waiting for you to finally see what's been right in front of you all along. Remember, the most beautiful love often grows in the quiet spaces between words, in the gentle consistency of someone who chooses to stay, in the patient devotion of someone who loves you enough to wait for the right moment to say so. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video where we'll dive even deeper into the psychology of human connection. Until then, keep your eyes open. Love might be closer than you think.